What's up, y'all? This is Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, with my co-host B, 3 exclamation points, bringing you the political perspective.
Savvy enough to hear certain things and not automatically be acting.
Elon Musk kind of like snapped on
This is like 3 more seasons of Landman right here.
Yeah, definitely. Where the natural resources are ransacked, and these countries are normally not better after the United States comes over there and just starts trashing their country. And always remember, if you're not political, you do not have a perspective. Now let's talk some politics. Oh man, happy to be back with my brother B.
Absolutely.
I am Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, and this is B. 3 exclamation points. I got Ox, the grammar police over there, making sure I pronounce your name correctly. And this is a political perspective. And always remember, if you are not political, then you do not have a perspective. So, B, I've been starting off. I was told once that as long as the United States is engaged in a military activity, that should always be the number one topic. It's not a lot going on the Iran war front. There's a few things going on in the Middle East, but one thing I wanted to talk about was some of the demands that are being made, from Iran and from the Trump administration. So. Iran right now has what they call their 6 demands. And the first one is that they, control the Strait of Hormuz and are able to charge vessels to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, historically, no one's had to pay anything to go through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is a way to boost Iran's economy. And what Iran is saying is that a part of this charge is to rebuild their country from just being bombed, by the United States. So they want complete control over the Strait of Hormuz and able to charge for a vessel to go through. They also want the United States to remove all military personnel from the Middle East, from all presumably Islamic countries. I don't think that would be a request for Israel, obviously, but to remove military bases from all Middle Eastern countries, but more specifically the Muslim majority countries, that the United States has military bases in all of these countries. Another one is to lift all sanctions and unfreeze all assets from the Iranian government. So during wartime, what happens is assets are frozen because countries aren't banking with Wells Fargo. They got major financial institutions, and one of the kind of tactics of war is to freeze assets, freeze accounts, make a country's ability to pay for things, ability to function on the world stage more difficult. So to lift those sanctions, to unfreeze assets, and to pay reparations for the war, for their to be rebuilt. Those are the 6 demands from Iran.
Real quick, correct me if I'm wrong. The fee is 300 billion or 600 billion
For which fee?
that they want. No, not for as far as the first request. What was I can't remember. It was an amount of money that they wanted in addition to controlling the strait and reparations. And I thought it was like 300 billion. Maybe
I believe either number was 300 or 600 billion, right off the bat.
How did they come up with that number?
There's probably an app for it. But I'm gonna say it's probably just an imaginary number.
Yeah.
That's never going to be even discussed, or even given much thought. I mean, but and you can imagine these demands, um, the United States and especially Donald Trump having no interest in attempting to meet any of these demands, um, you know, from uh, you know, from from Iran.
It made
So
me think of, you know what it made me think of? And it's going to be an old reference, forgive my age, but if you've seen the movie Armageddon, right? It's the movie with Bruce Willis and a bunch of people, the famous Aerosmith song. He sent them to a asteroid that was going to hit Earth and destroy Earth. And in order to do this job, they had a list of specific demands, outrageous demands that upon their return, they wanted these demands met. One of their demands were they didn't want to pay taxes again ever. It was pretty ridiculous. This is the first thing I thought of when I saw this list of demands from Iran. Now, I don't know if you're about to get into this, but the last thing I saw on this was that Iran said, yo, it's no deal. We waiting for homeboy to leave. That's it.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think at this point there's probably going to be no deal to be made. Um, because both sides are so far apart on what they could possibly ever want to even discuss. But Trump and the administration, obviously, they said no to all of those demands. But also in their response, they want Iran to pay financial compensation to the family members of any U.S. service members killed or wounded by Iran-linked roadside bombs over the past 4 decades. That seems like an even more ridiculous demand. How do you like you said? How do you even come up with that number? And what would that number be over 40 years? How would you even determine how many people? I mean, it's almost like they're kind of like taunting each other
It's
because
like a terrible game of Monopoly. Like, what are you doing?
right, they're taunting each other because there's no way that any of these demands are going to be met. So it looks like we're going to be engaged in this conflict pretty much until Trump leaves office. I don't see it. I don't see it changing outside of ground troops. I don't see anything changing. So
Yeah.
we'll stay tuned for that. Next thing I want to talk about is and I saw this last night. So ICE, our Immigration's Custom and Enforcement
Enforcement.
Department, it has a new equipment that they are going to be. So you've seen it. So ICE now has electric shock gloves. You know, so ICE is planning to equip its officers with battery-powered gloves that deliver electric shocks to individuals resisting arrest. So, according to this proposal, which was submitted by the Department of Homeland Security, the agency would spend up to $20 million to purchase these devices, which are slated to be deployed to agents in the field as early as 2027. B, how do you feel about the ICE electric shock gloves? What say you?
This is tricky because it's ridiculous, but we've seen the alternative where they just shoot innocent people. So I don't know how to feel about this, and I think that's by design. They don't want you to know how to feel about it. $20 million for electric shock gloves. I don't like. You got to touch somebody for the gloves. It's like, I don't see the purpose. I don't trust that they'll be used responsibly. I would like to hope that the gloves can't kill you. I'm not a fan of it, but given the other things that they've been doing, maybe I should be a fan of it. I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. It just seems like a ridiculous thing to have and a waste of money. I'm not going to front. If they were available for the consumer purchase market, I would buy some, but it's on its face. It's just what are we doing here? Electric shock glove. They want to
Yeah,
be Avengers so bad. They want to be Iron Man, Tony Stark's. I don't know what the
yeah. I mean, I do. I feel like, um, the first thing that so we haven't even equipped the ICE agents um with body cams.
right.
That and they're already bought and paid for, and just haven't been either distributed, or they're saying that it's being that the shipping is slow, or whatever the reason is. Um, body cams
Shipping
is
is slow.
right. Body cams is much more needed and useful, than some shot gloves. Um, I would just question, like you said, I would question the method and the tactics on how they're used. Is it used like like a taser, a stun gun? And if that's the case, why not just stun people?
Right.
Like, you already have the means to provide an electric shock. Why not just use the equipment that is pretty standard, for police? So I mean, it just, I mean, and I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but it just seems like you ever go to like like a Black History museum, and you see like all of the different types of
Oh yeah.
medieval weapons that they used to, like,
Yeah.
to
Yep.
subdue slaves. I mean, that's what it put me in the mind of that. Like y'all are just creating new ways to just
Right.
cause harm. And like you said, like, if you're that close, I mean, and you need the shot, like, is it gonna be, how do you even turn it on? You turn it, like, I mean, is it so are you gonna be shocking someone while you're putting them in handcuffs? And what type of shock is it? Is it, like, it just seemed like they're just creating new ways to harass people and to torture people. And it just seems ugly to me.
Yeah. I don't see the purpose.
But stay tuned. I know you mentioned that if there was a way for a consumer to purchase this, that you
Get
would
some
be
gloves.
for it. Definitely is something that we may be looking,
Get some of
uh,
them gloves. Let's see what happens.
them shot gloves. Them shot gloves. Last thing I want to talk about, just for national politics, is just, did you see the reporting about the airplane switch of Trump? Um,
The Caroline Levitt quitting.
yeah. So
Yeah. I didn't see this. I saw it. I understand what happened, but I didn't look real in depth to what happened. And it's
right.
so
So
Trump.
yeah. So the kind of summary of it is there was what I think the military Secret Service considered a credible threat to assassinate Donald,
Mhm.
and they came up with this elaborate plan to take Trump out of the original plane that he was in, and usher him into a different plane. They used like a catering truck to be able to usher Trump from one plane to another, because they considered it to be a credible threat that Iran or some of its supporters or proxies would be trying to take a shot at Trump. While I think he was in Turkey. So, and the first thing that came to my mind is, we're in war. Why are you in Turkey?
Right.
Like, why are you in the Middle East at all? But why are you in Turkey, of all places? You can't clear your schedule. Like, we at war. Like, and I'm sure that he has appearances and things that he need to do, but you got to be in a Middle Eastern country like that.
Had to
Like that.
chill in Boldrum.
Yeah, that just seems kind of crazy. But also, one of the reports is that um, only a select few people knew that there was a threat to this airplane, and Trump was taken off of this airplane, but no additional security measures were made for this plane. So, in theory, all of the other people, and we're talking about when the president traveled, he traveled with reporters, he travels with other heads of state. I believe Marco Rubio was on a plane. So the plane still remained, it still remained a
Yeah.
target. So I mean, did they use this plane as a decoy? Like, and what would have happened if that plane would have took a
Oh
missile?
my goodness.
And
Right.
none of these people even knew that it was a threat. It just lets you know that obviously the president is much more important than all these other foes, all these other folks. But also that there is supposed to be some type of international law against killing heads of states.
Hmm.
That's supposed to be like a no because whole countries can just collapse with no leaders, or it can be turned over to some type of dictator or something like that. So Iran even planning to assassinate Trump. It would have been something crazy. So I mean, glad something like that didn't happen, because we're talking about if Trump gets assassinated, we're not talking about a stalemate with negotiation. We're talking about boots on the ground, you know, pretty much steamrolling, through that country, or at least making an attempt. So a lot of lives would have been lost if something like that would have happened. One other thing that I just wanted to bring up, the midterm elections is coming up soon, and
Faster than
also
you know.
faster than you know. I just want to kind of remind everybody to make sure that you register to vote. Make sure that you are, up to date with anyone that's running for office in your district. The mayor's not up for office, but the governor is up for office. So I mean, we got Josh Shapiro, who
Hmm.
who is a current governor, who most people feel like is doing a decent job. I know Josh Shapiro has has been on a lot of different shows, and he appears to be someone that the people can get behind and is relatable. He's presumably going to be running against Stacey Garrity, who is currently the Pennsylvania State Treasurer, and she's also a Army Reserve veteran. Pennsylvania is really what we would consider a purple state, because on any given year we can have Democrats, we can have Republicans in power in Pennsylvania. But not only, but in addition to the governor's mansion being up, there is the Pennsylvania House, the Pennsylvania Congress, and the Pennsylvania House of Representatives is up also. So whoever has a majority of votes in both of those houses, in addition to the governor, will be able to set a lot of the policies and the processes of the state. So make sure you guys kind of look at these candidates in your area and make an informed decision. And I'll probably be updating down the line as we get closer to to the midterms. All right. So
Yeah.
that's all I got. B, you got anything for me?
No, you covered it. I was wondering if you was going to get to the whole plane fiasco, and you did. Yeah, insanity. And yes, it's very important to make sure you register to vote, um, so you won't have any BS, because they're already starting their stuff. I saw something earlier this week about ICE being at polling places. So, they're already starting their nonsense. So just please make sure everything is in line. Make sure you're at the right uh, polling station where you're supposed to vote, because who knows what this is going to look like. I predict that it is going to look ugly, because I think they know that things have been unfavorable for that side, the Republicans, over the past 2 years, given where the country is, the economy, and the job market, all of the above. And the previous election kind of indicated that a potential blue wave happening come November. So please just make sure that everything is on the up and up, so you won't run into any issues when you get to these polls.
All right. Absolutely. Well, we'll leave it at there. We'll leave it right there. Once again, I'm Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, and this is B, free exclamation points. And if you are not political, you do not have a perspective.
Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.